guys, Rachel from PencilStash here. Thank you for joining me. I'm coming to you today from beautiful sunny Florida. I spent the day on the beach and I got some absolutely beautiful pictures of the water, so I'm going to upload those to my website, PencilStash.com, if you'd like to check them out. You can also find our color charts there. And today we're going to be starting part 4 of our Manor series. If you have not checked out the first 3 parts, you might want to do that first. And we're definitely going to go to a part 5 and hopefully wrap this page up. Let's head over to my desk and we can get started. I just wanted to remind everyone what the final product is going to look like. And just a reminder, I did go over them in part 1, but I do have all of the colors that I used for this project available. These little cheat sheets are available on my website, PencilStash.com, and I used Faber-Castell pencils for this project, but if you don't have those, I've also provided the Prismacolor alternatives. So let's get started. So let's do these curtains, and these are going to be white. However, let's kind of put some gray in the creases, and we're going to use cold gray number 4. And we're just going to sort of follow the crease marks that they gave us. And we're just going to go a bit above and below each crease mark. Very light. We're going to take our blender pencil, get all this cream off of it, and then we're just going to rock it back and forth over that gray until the gray is nice and soft in those creases. That's good. Now let's go back in with some of our grays to do these pots. And let's start with cold gray number 4. And yeah, let's do this one. No, let's do this one. So indecisive, I'm sorry. Now we're just gonna do a bit of a column down the middle. And then we're going to go back in with a darker gray. This is warm gray number 5. And we're going to do either side. And you're just going to give it a little bit of an overlap. Just making sure that column highlight in the middle stays nice and intact. Now you're going to go back in with that same first gray, the cold gray number 4, and you're going to go over the whole thing. Just to smooth out those transitions. And then we're going to go in with our black, and then we're going to do the very edges. This is kind of shadowed here, tucked in the back. And you're just going to sort of shadow some of these little elements here too. And then you're going to give it a shadow around the flowers and the other pots because they're definitely casting a shadow. There we go. And then, again, with your lightest gray, you're going to go over all of those areas where it meets the black. Just to smooth and move some of that black around. And then you can even go in and highlight some of these little relief pebbles here. Just so they look a little bit more three-dimensional. Alright, let's kind of dirty up this facade of the house, so just a little bit more. Let's do these lamps, and we're going to do it a mixture of this burnt ochre color and black, and I'm hoping that the mixture here will kind of look copper. Just to reinforce this kind of copper color, I'm actually going to take my Prismacolor Metallic Gold and go over this just a little bit. Now we're going to take a couple of these colors here to do the fire inside of the lanterns, and we're going to use the light cadmium yellow, dark cadmium yellow, and then middle cadmium red. And we're going to do the flame yellow, and then yellow here up at the top of the triangle, and then we're going to use the darker cadmium for the bottom of the flame, and then kind of radiating outward. And then the red in the flame here. And we're going to do the same thing in here. And we're actually going to make a little bit of a halo around the lantern for the glow of the bulb. And we're just going to use the yellows. Then we're going to do the same effect here. So we've just put this ochre color on about 90% of the left side, leaving about 10% white. And then we're going to take the black and just shade it a little bit over here. And we're going to take our white. We're just going to blend that a little bit there. Now we're going to do the same thing on this water spout, which I'd like to sort of look copper. And we're going to do the same effect where we have about 90% on the left, 10% white on the right, and then we're going to take our black and we're just going to put in these little shadow lines. This is very tedious, and you are going to definitely want to have a nice sharp tip. And just really light. It's going to be very subtle. And again with the white. On that right side. And one more copper element, I think, is this little sign right here. I'm just going to color really lightly here in the center just to give the illusion of a little bit of a reflection. And then that same effect with the black. And I'm just going to dirty up the corner a little bit. And down here. Alright, now we're going to do the door. And I think I'm going to use these three colors: Prussian blue, cobalt turquoise, and hydrantian blue. And I'm going to start with my lightest. And I really want to be light with this, so it's a very deep color, but I want to be incredibly light-handed with this. So I'm just going to do a nice light foundation of this color, and then I'll go in and add some deeper blues. I was really debating what color to paint this front door. Color it. And I really wanted to do blue because it looks just like the doors to the TARDIS. If anybody watches Doctor Who, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I had to make it blue. So there's my foundation color. And now I'm going to go in with my second lightest color, which is going to be this Prussian blue. And I'm going to go around, and because of where the light is hitting, it's going to hit these panels here. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to do these panels a little bit darker. Now I'm going to go in with my deepest color, the hydrantian blue, and I'm just going to go and do a little bit more shadow here. On the edges of the same panels. Now I'm going to go back in with that same original blue, the cobalt, that I did my foundation with, and I'm just going to do a little bit darker in certain areas. Here at the top of the frame, and then along this edge. Just in that same pattern like on the panels. And just a little bit inside the panels. And then I'm going to go back in with my Prussian and just make sure that this still shows up as a little bit different. So it kind of got lost there. Okay, and then I'm going to take my black and just going to go around the edge just a little bit. Just highlight the edge there, and then I'm just going to scuff up the bottom a little bit. And then I'm gonna make my handle this ochre color, burnt ochre, to match my copper sconces. Right, I think now we're gonna go in and do the dirt gravel path here. And I'm going to do this in a whole bunch of different grays, and then I'm going to bring a little bit of moss kind of out into these areas here just to make it feel like maybe some of the earth and tones are kind of bleeding into the gravel. Sorry, warm gray number 2, kind of in the middle here. Again, just starting with a nice foundation to build upon. And we're going to go to our cold gray number 4. And we're just going to build out from the sides. Making sure that we shadow this little guy. Then, warm gray number 5. Then we're going to come back with our warm gray number 2. More in the middle here. So first layer was a cool gray, and now we're going to come back in with a warm. Now we're just going to come in and kind of have some random areas. A little bit of dark just to give that illusion of gravel instead of like a concrete. We're also going to go back in with our moss green, which I'm going to use this olive green yellowish. I'm just going to bring out a little bit of green. And come back in, and you're just going to build layer upon layer upon layer until this looks just how you want. I didn't realize you couldn't see that. We can do the stoop here as well. Put a little bit of this ochre color in here, so it looks a little bit more natural. And I'm going to add a little bit of this moss green. So it looks like the little bits of earth have kind of taken over this house a little bit. Going to go back in as well with our walnut brown. Shadow this underside. You can also take some of this walnut brown, bring it out into the walkway. Alright, now we're going to take our same moss color, and again we want the house to have just a little bit of a well-loved, well-lived-in feel. So we're going to put a little bit of this green moss on the brick walls here. And just in a couple little places, like down here at the bottom. where it's a little bit dark and the moss sort of has a little bit more chance to grow. And maybe up under the lip here. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. We can always add more later. Now I'm going to take those same blues that I used on the front door, and I think I'm going to do these pretty flowers back here. Do just a nice foundation of the cobalt, the cobalt. And we'll go back in with our darker blues. Let's go back in with our Hydranthean blue, and I'm going to just do little lines radiating out. Give it some texture. Now we're going to do these other flowers in Madder and Pale Geranium Lake. I'm just going to do the tips in this pale geranium color. Then we're going to come back in with the madder color. And we're going to go over the whole leaf. Then we're going to take this dark cadmium yellow, and we're just going to go through and put that center in on both these flowers. We'll just use the same color for ease. And now we're going to take our olive green yellowish and put some veins on these leaves here, just for a little bit of interest, because there's just a couple. And then we're going to take, our juniper and color these in. Let's find our walnut brown, and we're just going to go on the inside of this pot here. Okay. Now these flowers here, we're going to do our cream color and the dark cadmium yellow, and we're going to do the centers in the cream, and then we're just going to come along on the outer edges. That's it for part 4. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys sticking around with me for this long, detailed page. Look for part 5 to come out in the next couple of days, and we will wrap this one up. If you would like to learn more about me and my projects, you can visit my website, PencilStash.com. That's where you get those color charts that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. Keep coloring. Bye!